Good morning. Welcome to BizChicks TV, the place to be for tips, tools, strategies, and everything that you need. Well, just about everything you need to build a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. Today, we have Terry Johnson online, and she is presenting the topic of the tech generation. So, TJ, without any further ado, take it away.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you guys doing? And we are getting started after a little, we always have some tech issues. But live streamers out there, if you're watching, you know how it goes. You get everything set up and then it goes bonkers. So we're just, getting our bearings, and we want to give you a great show. So I want to say hi to everybody. Hi to the West Coast. Good morning. Good afternoon to the East Coast. I want to say hi to the live viewers. If you're in the audience, please let us know you're here. Put a shout out, say hi, I'm here, hello, howdy, whatever you want to type. And also to the replay viewers, because we know the replay viewers watch. I know that they do. So hi to the replay viewers. We're glad you're here. We're going to have a great conversation today. And I want everyone who's here, if you're live, if you're replay, please put your comments, your opinions, your thoughts, your questions into the comment section, into the chat, because we will incorporate everything you have to say into today's show while we're doing the show and after the show. And also, please share this out, because we feel like this information that we're doing is we're helping the audience. We're helping you guys who are business owners or thinking about opening a business, or you have a brand, or anything that you have to do. You want to get found on social media and digital marketing. This is the place right here every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. So we're here, and we're here every day, not just Tuesday. It's just Tuesday. Today is social media day, digital marketing day. But every other day, there's lots of conversations revolving around creating a business that's fun to run. So we want to make sure you're here. So share this out, and we thank you for that.
Yes. And
yeah, so go ahead, Fran.
Oh, I was going to say, we're also over on YouTube, Twitter, Google Plus, and a couple of other places. So please, 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 please let us know that you're watching over there as well. And thank you.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
So what is today's topic?
What is the tech generation all about?
What is the tech generation all about? Well, I mean, we talk about generations here. We had a discussion, and actually we may want to revisit all of the generations, but I wanted to focus on the tech generation, which happens to be the age of, I would say, 13 up to 27. I mean, but there have been other studies that said that the tech generation is everybody. Like, it's everybody, because if you have a smartphone, you're a part of the tech generation. So, there are experts and people that talk about stuff like this, and they say, oh, the tech generation is everyone. But really, the tech generation, in my opinion, this is my opinion, the crowd, not the crowd, well, I guess the group of people, because there are people now that grew up with the smartphone. Because the iPhone is 10 years old. So 10 years ago, we had the smartphone and everything started to change. So now we have a group of, I don't want to call them kids, because I don't know. I'm not sure if they're offended by that, calling them kids or children. Some people see them as children. Some people see them as young adults. But I'm specifically talking about this group that are tech savvy, smartphone savvy. They grew up with devices. They know how to use them, and they use them smartly. It's not about games to them, to this particular group, because some of the kids do play games. I mean, don't get me wrong, they do play games, but there's a particular group out there, and if you watch the news, you might have seen them. And I want to make sure that we're everywhere. So Karen's here. Hey, Karen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to share this one more place before I get started, because we want to have we want to have a lot of, we want to have a lot of discussion.
Yeah, so lots of interaction.
Just 1 second. I forgot to share the one place.
Now I did share it over to the BizChix
Yeah,
group.
I shared it to the BizChix page.
Okay.
So it's there.
Good. So we want you to interact. We want you to ask questions, weigh in on the conversation as well. Because like TJ is saying, the people who use tech now, there's some things that I saw on just on my Mac alone. I was like, whoa, I can do all of that. I just discovered some things. And the people that grew up with tech, they don't do too much pen and paper stuff.
No, they don't do. They try to avoid pen and paper.
Yeah, they'll pay stuff online. They're walking in line. They check out reviews with the phone. They are not doing what some of us may have done in the past to do things.
Right.
They're just not doing it.
No, they're not, because they grew up with the smartphone. And think about everybody who I would say 20, 25 and up, about other things besides the smartphone. But this tech generation, these kids, young adults, because some of them are turning 18, which is, the part that I want to talk about, is that they grew up with knowing how to use it. And I don't mean how, the mechanics of use it. They use it, and like I'm glad Fran said it about paper and pen, because they don't believe in paper and pen and all the things that we did. You go to college, you got to write papers, or you got a computer, you write your papers on that. But most of the older crowd, you use pen and paper, and you kind of like it. I like pen and paper sometimes to write down different things versus my phone, because I can dictate stuff into my phone and have it go into my management program that I use, that I keep all my ideas. Evernote is one, Trello is one, Asana is another. But sometimes I want to write. And this generation I'm talking about, they never experienced that. Everything to them is digital. And I want to talk about how this attitude, or I don't know if it's an attitude, I mean, it's their world. It's what they grew up with. So they are using this tech world, this way that they grew up, to react to different things. So I want to talk about a news story, which got me thinking about this whole subject we're talking about with tech generation. And let me back up before I start, because you would say why. And we said it here before, that this group of millennials, this 13 to 24 or 30, that's the crowd that they drive popular culture, which means it gets into TV commercials. It gets into advertising. I mean, I saw a commercial. I couldn't believe I saw a commercial for a refrigerator that was like this, it had all this technical stuff on it. And the mother was twerking. If you don't know what twerking is, that's something that the kids was doing on YouTube. It's a dance. And my mouth just dropped open. I was like, and they only showed like a snippet of it. It wasn't like a full on the way that the kids do it. It was just, when I saw it, I knew that what that was. So see how what the kids that are doing, what they're doing, what they're wearing, their vocabulary, the things they do, the dances, all of that gets put into advertising because it kind of flows from this crowd. So I like to talk about them because you want to see what the future is going to be as far as advertising and marketing and things like that. Look at what this crowd is doing, this tech crowd, the Snapchat crowd, the ones that like to do everything on their phone, 13 and up. Whatever they're doing now, you're going to see it in a few years. So you want to keep your eye on it. So that's why I like to talk about this group, because the older crowd will be like, I don't really care what they're doing, but you might want to keep an eye out on what they're doing. So there is a story, if you haven't heard, it's concerning one of the students from the Parkland shooting in Florida that happened February. And out of that shooting, unfortunate shooting, but not unfortunately, a movement grew out of it with these kids, these teenagers who are concerned about going to school and their future, and they want to make a change. Really, what they're trying to do is they're trying to affect a change. And they have adults that are telling them, oh, you have to wait. Oh, you have to wait and let us do what we're going to do. You can't, your voice isn't one we want to hear, because this is the older generation. We don't want to hear from the kids. But you do want to hear from the kids. You want to hear from them because their opinions. Oh, did I lose Facebook?
Nope.
Oh, no. Okay. I'm checking out the corner of my eye, and I'm like, did we lose Facebook?
No, you're good.
So if you don't know the story, I just put it up. I did a screen capture of the story. So it's Laura Ingraham. This is in Variety. And this happened last week. This is March 29th. So Laura Ingraham, she's a Fox News host. She has a TV show on Fox. She apologizes for a tweet as advertisers raise concerns. Now, what's the backstory on this? Because it is political. I'm not getting into the political side. I'm getting into the Twitter and the tech generation and how they do things. So what happened is that this person made a tweet concerning one of the kids who the school is Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, the school in Florida in Parkland. So a couple of the kids from this, unfortunate incident, they become vocal because they want to affect change. So they're 17. Some of these kids are 16, 17. They're really passionate about what they're doing. They're really passionate about what they're doing. So this is causing them to have targets on their back, kind of, not targets for shooting, but just for attacks on Twitter, on Facebook, in the news. So this is one person, Laura Ingraham. I've never heard of her, but she has a talk show. So she made a tweet, and I thought I had the tweet. Let me see if I can find the tweet. That she responded to his tweet, because he tweeted something normal like, he's applying for colleges because he's 17. So he's applying to colleges, and he made an innocent tweet that, oh, I didn't get into USC or one of the California schools. I forgot what it was. But her response was to belittle him and to make fun of him. So she made this tweet, and let me see if I'm gonna
look it up while you go ahead. I'll look it up.
I thought I had the tweet, but I have his response. But I want her tweet because I want to make sure that I got it right, and I thought it was in the story. That because this is the end result of her tweeting at a 17-year-old teenager who was involved with the shooting. So
I'm looking it up now to see. Hopefully she didn't take it off.
Oh, she did take it off. That's why we don't have it.
Oh, okay.
She took it off. So
okay.
I remember seeing the tweet, but it was something about, something about, whining online about not getting in school and something like that. But I have his response to the tweet. And it was, hold on, let me bring it up. I'm sorry, guys, I had it up. Oh, here it is. So his response to her tweet. Let's see if I can bring it bigger.
What was his name?
On the screen. Her name is Laura Ingraham.
No, but what's his name? Because maybe
his name is David Hogg, Hogg. And he's one of there's a core group of kids that are like the spokespeople for the kids of the school. Because, you can't talk to every kid at the school. So there's about 5 or 6 kids that have been on the news. He's one. There's another one, Emma Gonzalez. There's a couple of them, but they're the most vocal kids. Like, they're the most forceful kids where they go on the news and they sound intelligent and they know what they're talking about. So he's one. He's a student journalist who happened to be taking video during the incident. So this is why he's getting the most attention from the adults, because he's been on the news and everybody was talking about it. So his tweet was to her, and that's her Twitter handle. What are your biggest advertisers asking for a friend? Hashtag boycott Ingram adverts. I think he misspelled her name, but whatever. So this thing got like 53,000 likes and 11,000 tweets because he has a big following in the millions. He's, like I said, he's a teenager. He's one of the kids involved with the movement. They have a move, I think it's called March for Our Lives. And they had they had the student march a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Was it last week? They had a march and it was everywhere. It was Washington, New York. Every city had one. So it was a big deal because they have gotten backing from a lot of businesses, local businesses, and some famous people like Steven Spielberg, George Clooney, and Oprah have contributed money to help them. They don't control what the kids do. They just give them money for, organization and office space and paying for transportation and stuff like that. So that's what they're doing. So he's a target because of all that. And he just tweeted something innocent. I wish I could find his tweet where he was talking about not being, he was like, he's a little upset because he wasn't accepted to, I think it was Stanford or USC, one of the California schools. And he was just, I'm just a little upset because da 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 da. And her response was to, swipe back at him. But you're an adult and he's not quite an adult yet. So she should have, because look at we're going to talk about the fallout. She should have just not attacked him. Because he's just talking about not getting accepted in the school, which is all the kids are talking about that right now, because the school acceptance letters are going out and people are finding out whether they're going to college or not. So she decided to do that. His response was not anger, but this is what the tech generation does. This is how they use social media. He says, "Oh, what are your advertisers? I'm just asking for a friend." That's how they talk. So he also tweeted. Let me bring up his next tweet. Oh, there we go. That one. So this one, he says, pick a number 1 to 12. I'm trying to see it as small. Hold on. I'm waiting for it to come. There it is. Pick a number 1 through 12. Contact the company next to that number. So he got a list of her top advertisers for her Fox News television show. That's what this is about. So what are those? What's listed on there? Sleep Number. I think that's that mattress company.
Oh, yeah, it's a mattress. Yes.
Right. AT&T, Nutrish, Allstate, Bayer, Rocket Mortgage. I think it's a mortgage company. Liberty Mutual is insurance. Arby's, well, Arby's is fast food. TripAdvisor, Nestle, and Hulu. And Wayfair. Wayfair is, I think it's retail. I'm not sure. So what happens after he tweets this, which gets 129,000 likes and 55,000 retweets? So that's the reach of these 2 tweets. They're really getting exposure amongst his crowd, who, they're always on their smartphone, so they're going to spread the word. They're spreading the word.
Mm-hmm.
So then, this is what happens. So on CNN, he goes on, CNN asked him to come on to talk about it, and he said, listen, this is what we do. So this is a list of advertisers that have cut ties with her. So the other list was him calling on people to contact these companies. This is the list. It's TripAdvisor, Jenny Craig, Hulu, Johnson & Johnson, Expedia, Nestle, Wayfair, Atlantis, Office Depot, Stitch Fix. I believe that's it. So these are the advertisers that have cut ties with her show, which means that they're not funding her show anymore because of one tweet. One tweet. What do you guys think of this?
So, I think that sometimes people just need to keep quiet.
Yes.
Just
agree.
just don't have an opinion on air. Just because you can does not mean you should.
Because well, no, she didn't put this on air. This was on her Twitter account.
That's on air.
Okay, yeah, it's on air.
It's on air because it's out.
She didn't say this on Fox News.
But she did, but she said it. Right. And so it did air. And if none of this would have been out if she just kept her mouth quiet.
She's an adult who knows better versus this is a kid tweeting about something. He didn't call her out. He didn't call anybody out. He didn't say any mean thing about anybody. He's talking about something that happened in his life. But because he's a vocal person now and happened to be feeling, thinking opposite from her, obviously she's looking at this teenager's tweets, spending her days. Who, if you're a businesswoman or you got things to do, are you looking at kids' tweets going, well, let me find something to jab at him with? It's a kid. I mean, yes, he's on the news, but he's a part of the story. He didn't ask to be the head of or the face of the story. He just happened to be one of the kids involved in an unfortunate incident, and the news wants to talk to him because he's vocal. He's intelligent for his age. He knows what he's talking about, and he has a background in journalism. So he knows what he's talking about. So usually when they interview, teenagers, you get nothing out of them because they go, yeah, no, they're one word. And, parents out there, you try to get your kid to talk, you get 1-2 words out of them.
Yes.
Yes, no, or mumbles. So here you have a kid that knows what he's talking about, is passionate about a project of his that grew out of an incident, which they're trying to affect change with Congress. That's what they're doing with this organization of students, because a lot of these kids are going to be 18. So they also did voter registration at the march. I believe it was last Saturday. So they organized. These are teenagers. These are not like 25. They're 16 to 17. So they're vocal. They're organized. If you saw some of the speeches, they're very passionate. They're organizing. They're getting people signed up to vote, which is a good thing. They're getting the kids involved. So I look at it as, you hear a lot of complaint from older people that teenagers don't care about anything. But here they are caring about something, and then you have other adults attacking them for no reason. You should be... They're involved.
Okay, look, he put on his pinned tweet, can we please not debate this as Democrats and Republicans, but discuss this as Americans? In the comments, if you see someone you disagree with, do not attack each other, talk to one another. This applies to me too. We must work together to save our future. Now, that is intelligent, because some of the comments that I've been seeing, I was like, who are these people and how do you even function in life?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's my point. So they've been through a traumatic experience. Now, a lot of the kids that, went through this, they're not talking and that's understandable, but everybody reacts differently. So you see, there's a couple of kids. It's David Hogg, and the other one is Emma Gonzalez. She's a young lady with the short, if you see her on the news, she's a very short buzz cut. She's very passionate about when she gets up and speaks, but it's not passion without a message, without having some knowledge. And you can't say, oh, the kids don't know anything, because they experience the trauma. So they're going, wait a minute, we don't want to wait because their state legislator told them, oh, you have to wait, we'll get around to it whenever, blah, blah, blah. And these kids are going, no, we're not waiting.
No.
We're getting into action. So you have this one person, like you said, she should have kept her mouth shut. So it cost her all of this money. Plus she had to take a week vacation, which they said it was arranged. It was pre-planned because of the Easter holiday. But
okay.
So she had to take a week off.
So let's go with that.
Let's go with
that. There was, it's interesting. People can do certain things. You see, with social media, you get to voice an opinion. You get to show, it shows you who you really are. The things that you say on social media show the real you. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So some of these comments that I was seeing over here with regard to the young man, I'm thinking, boy, I'm glad I'm not your friend, or boy, I'm glad I don't know you, because some of the things were very foul and very, I mean, they were just not polite at all. You disagree with somebody, but you're not supposed to. It was full of venom. I guess I can say it that way. Just really toxic conversation. And these are from adults, not from peers, not from his peers, from adults that should know better.
And it's not just Laura Ingraham.
No.
Talk show. It's been Frank Stallone, which is Sylvester Stallone's brother. It was Ted Nugent. Someone else has stepped up saying, and what they've been saying before this about these children is that they're fake actors. They're putting on. They're not real students. They're shrills for the other side. Blah blah blah. Fake news and all of that. But I didn't want to get into. Like he said, he put up his tweet. It's not Republican or Democrat. It's about effective change. That's why I said these kids want to affect change. So they've gone through a traumatic experience. They do not want to wait. They've been told they have to wait for the next session, or we'll talk about it later. We'll have a discussion, is like they like to say. But the kids are going, we don't want to wait for any of that. We as a tech generation, we're social media, we have phones all the time. Not all of us are watching YouTube constantly or playing games constantly. Some of us really want our voices to be heard. So they've organized, they have an agenda. They say they're going to get kids signed up who are going to turn 18. They're going after the midterm elections. They're going after people in Congress. And they're saying if you're not willing to do something, then you have to go. So these kids are really serious. I've seen them on CBS News and some other shows. Like I said, they're very intelligent. They don't have an agenda. It's not negative. They have an agenda as far as getting things moving, because they feel like with all the other school shootings, nothing happened. There were roadblocks. So they're not waiting anymore. And they use social media. And
they don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. They are not going down party lines. They said, we want this thing taken care of, and you adults are not taking care of it, so we will.
Exactly. And Frank Stallone, some of the things he said about this kid, because he's still 17. He's not 18 yet, but he'll be 18. But some of the things that he said, I was like, whoa, that's really violent stuff. And these kids are coming from a place of, we want to affect change. We are not the wait and see generation. We want it now. We're going to get it done. And you can see that they are, doing stuff on the ground. Community organizing, getting the kids organized. And like I said, a lot of adults go, oh, these millennials, they don't do anything. Oh, the kids, but you have these kids that are doing something. They are doing something. And then you have another subset of adults that are trying to shut it down because of whatever agenda they're coming from.
So really, Twitter just gave him a voice, and he just said, hey, I didn't get in, I'm looking to get into a particular college, and what you normally would put out on Twitter anyway. None of this would have happened had she not piped up and said anything.
Right. He wasn't attacking anyone. He was talking about his life, and he's in the process of going through getting accepted to college. So these kids, they tweet about, well, what's going on with me today? Well, I'm bummed because I didn't get into the school I want. He said, and then he said in a tweet, oh, well, like life goes on. But you have these people, like I said, this person, Laura Ingraham, who should be minding her business and setting up her show, decides, and you have to be looking for his tweets, or you have an alert, or you have something, that tells you he tweeted something, and you're looking. It's like a dog looking for a bone to attack. Really, that was my opinion of it. And I said, well, now she's the one that got bit, because now her show is on hiatus. She doesn't have all of this, this money the sponsors, because that's, you would have a television show, you need advertisers because it costs money to put the show on. So all because of one tweet, and even I say just like I said, she had to be looking for that negative thing to pounce on.
So just because, again, I'm going to say it, just because you can say what you want does not necessarily mean that you should say what you want. No. I have a bit of background in journalism, and when you're supposed to source things, you're supposed to go and check out and make sure things are accurate before you start talking, and you do your research, and you don't that's close to, you know what I mean? You just don't start attacking people. And now everybody, well, not everybody, people do it thinking, oh, it's just Twitter or whatever, but you're still attacking people when you do that.
It's not just Twitter. And it's not just Twitter. It's not just news.
It's Twitter and news, and but you're not supposed, that is not why the news was there. You're supposed to say, this happened today, da 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 da, and you're supposed to give both sides of the story so people can decide for themselves. That does not happen anymore.
So, I mean, and we have the latest tweet was from Michael Flynn. I think that's
somebody in the,
what is his,
he used to be, wasn't he like a general or something?
Yeah, he's the son of Michael Flynn.
Yeah.
Michael Flynn Jr. So he says someone, parents clearly didn't smack this kid much growing up. Your emotional high will run out soon, so savor it while it lasts. Why? He's just a kid living his life trying to get things done.
But why are you even having a comment?
You have your own problems. Much bigger than a kid that about his college acceptance. And like I said, that's what I said, that this is coming from a place of all of these adults are watching like a hawk, this one little thing, and then let me pounce on it and turn it into something negative. So I'm glad that he had on his Twitter the tweet that you read that's pinned about it not being one side or the other. That's not their agenda. They're trying to get things changed. So they want you to be on board.
And he's not even talking. He's like, you, even if you don't agree with me, there's a way to be, you're supposed to disagree, but not be disagreeable, right?
Yes, I like that.
Okay, so what? You don't agree with my opinion. I may not agree with the choice of Terry's frames on her glasses. So now I'm going to pour vinegar over that, and that is just the worst glass thing ever. Who does that? Immature people.
Right. Immaturity. And then you have someone who's supposed to be immature, but is not. And his reaction was not to belittle this person and said, what about him? He said, oh wait a minute. Who are your advertisers? I'm asking for a friend. And then the next tweet is, this is the list of advertisers. Have at it. And so he didn't tell them to go after them. He said, listen, if you feel a certain way about, and you want to let these advertisers know about it, here are their Twitter handles. Here is their information. Call them up.
They didn't tell you to boycott. He just said call them and talk to them. So here's the other thing too. When people do these type of things, they are showing, I'm talking about the people who were very derogatory in their comment, the negative. And it's okay to have a negative comment, but derogatory and vile and threatening, all of that means that you haven't had much home training yourself. Because,
and the thing I forgot to mention was that the Fox News host, she did apologize to him, but that was after all of the advertisers dropped out. She didn't apologize before that. And then David's response was, because she had said something about LeBron James about 2 months ago.
Oh,
he had said something to LeBron James about shut up. I think she told him to shut up and dribble because he had mentioned something,
because they were taking a stand.
Right, they were taking a stand. So her thing is to belittle people. So she's telling LeBron, shut up and dribble. You're just a basketball player. Not like he's a person with opinions and thoughts, just like anybody else.
Okay. So again, we have people who sound like they don't have any training or upbringing of their own, and that it is okay for you just to say anything out of your mouth, regardless of how it's going to affect someone else. That is not true. That is really not true.
And I like what Karen said. She said every generation will have this. Some older flocks just can't understand young people that they know a thing or two. Exactly. They're not giving this younger generation a chance, because this is not their childhood, their youth is not our youth. Because like I said, they grew up with technology. They grew up with the phone that allows them to communicate to people in a way that we never could. Before, if you wanted to get on the news as a regular person, you had to be a part of a breaking story, or you had to be a part of something interesting that the journalist was doing a story on. Then they would contact you and send out a camera crew and talk to you.
I know what it is, Terry.
Right.
I know what it is.
What?
They want their 15 minutes of fame. So if they can be so derogatory so somebody notice me, so I'm going to say something bad about you so you can notice me. That's what that is.
On the bandwagon. And then you have the latecomers, like the Michael Flynn comment, which he know better because they already talked about this last week. So here he comes a few days ago with his 2 cents. I mean, they should have basically discipline this kid physically, which I'm like, come on, that's not your business to get in to tell some parent what they should do and how they should handle their kid. So here he is coming in, trying to get on the story. And I'm like, no, that's not how it happens. So that's what I'm saying about the tech generation. These kids, instead of meeting the negative with a negative, they were like, okay, I'm going to show you how this works with a phone and Twitter. I just brought your show down.
And I don't really think that was his intent. He was just like, stop.
No, I know that wasn't his intent, but I mean,
but see, he didn't write letters. No, and he didn't do that. No, because the technology we have at our disposal right now does not require that you do that. If you want to get a company's attention because something happened and you didn't get, the customer satisfaction wasn't up to your standard, putting a tweet out on Twitter, you will definitely get their attention.
That's the way that it's going now. You used to have to, I want to speak to manager. Let me get the regional manager's address. Let me get the corporation's address and number. And let me write a letter and hear back in 2 or 3 weeks. All of that is dead, people. Customer service is now done, or awareness is now done online. That's the point that I want you to see with all of this, is that instead of it being this long line between a customer and we'll say being dissatisfied with a service or product and them having to write a long letter, those days are gone. They go straight to the source. They go straight to Twitter, because every corporation, every business is usually on Twitter. So they go at Coca-Cola, or at Kraft, and that's an immediate response.
It would benefit you to make sure your business is on Twitter, so that if a customer has a complaint, they can get to you directly, or they should be able to message you on Facebook or message you on YouTube or wherever you are, so that they can voice a complaint or voice a positive thing that you're doing as well. And you can get that message immediately. It's no longer distance between you and the customer. That long, like you said, that gap is gone. It is now direct. Oh, that's why they call it a direct message, a DM.
Exactly. And like I said, I labeled it tech generation because I'm thinking of this subset of kids, but tech generation is going to be all of us. It's going to be the 13-year-old and the 84-year-old grandma.
And it's already there, because the people who created Twitter, the people who created YouTube and all of them, yes, they're growing up, but they put these things in place for direct communication. They're taking out, I no longer do I have to write a pen pal for somebody on the other side of the globe. I can send you a tweet and say, hi, how are you? And I'm looking forward to contacting you, looking forward to connecting with you. Love what you're doing with your product. And it doesn't take me a week or two for the letter to get over there.
And I don't have to pick up paper and pen and write something down, and most of this is going to be, if it's, unfortunately, if it's negative, it's going to be the person right there at the moment with their phone, whipping it out and going, okay. And I've seen it happen. There was an incident a couple months ago. A young man went to, I believe it was Old Navy, and he had on his coat that someone bought him as a gift from Old Navy. So he's in Old Navy and he's shopping, and then he said, when he went to the counter, the manager was like, let me see your coat. He was like, what? He was like, did you buy that? Let me check your coat. Let me scan it. And he was like, no, what are you talking about? And the manager said, well, that's what we do for all customers. And he was like, no, you don't. So it got into an altercation. Well, they didn't get an altercation, but it was just that, he pulled out his phone and said, look, Old Navy, they're telling me that my coat that was a gift, because it's an Old Navy coat, they're saying that they have to rescan it, and that's store policy. Well, Old Navy found out about it because of, he went viral with the video that he was right there in the middle of, and Old Navy shut the store down, did an investigation, and fired all the people that were involved.
Wow. See, and that's what I'm telling you. And now young people do that, but I'm going to tell you what, Terry did that when we were standing in Fry's. She's like, look, we're standing in line at Fry's. And she went on Periscope at the time. And like, okay, but Fry's probably didn't care because Fry's is Fry's. But she did it. She said, look at this. We are standing in line and nobody's helping. See, that right there is why you need reputation management, or you need to have something in place so that if you have if a person needs to reach you, that you are available to handle their issue, because they will go viral. I mean, they will take it live.
It's something you have to take seriously. And I know a lot of businesses do not take this seriously. They don't think that someone is going to come in, like I said, and if they have their experience is not happy or conducive for them, or they felt like they were wronged by an employee, they're going to take this phone out and it could go viral, or at the least it'll be online, and then other customers will see it.
Yeah.
So it's something to take serious.
And I am glad to say that most of the customers do. I mean, most of the companies do take seriously when you post something or ask them something. But then there's those old school customers who don't feel, not customers, companies that don't feel like they need to do all of that. Yeah, they are going to suffer.
Yeah, they don't need to be online. They don't need an online presence. They don't care that their customers are already online talking about them, even if they're not on Twitter. There's people talking about you, or Facebook. There's someone somewhere saying something about you, positive or negative. So
now,
you need to be out there.
You said, how does one go about tracking what is being said about them?
You can do that easily. There is, you can use TweetDeck. You can use Twitter itself. You can use Hootsuite. There's a couple of ways to do it. But what you want to do is you just search for your company name. Or if you have a handle, like if you have a handle on Twitter, you can just search for, just put your handle in, and your business name, and everything that's said about you, it will show up. Or you could just type in your business name without the accent.
Okay.
And it'll just put it up. Twitter search is really powerful. So you can go straight to Twitter. Even if you don't have a Twitter account, you can go straight to Twitter and see what they're talking about as far as your business and your brand and, the area that you're in. So it's a great research tool. We said that before, that Twitter is great for looking at what your customers are saying about you or a competitor or your area of business, what business you're in.
So I think it's a good idea that you look at that maybe daily or weekly to find out what's going on, so that you don't get surprised like, OMG, I didn't know Mildred felt that way.
Exactly. It's a great research tool for your brand, your business, and what your competitors are doing, because you may see people talking about your competitors and asking why they don't have XYZ product or why they can't fix my problem. And if you have the solution to the problem, you go right on in there and say, hi, I noticed you have a problem. I have the solution, let me show you. Boom, you got a customer just by initiating a conversation and watching what is being said about your industry on Twitter. It doesn't have to be your business. If you don't find anything about yourself, that's good. So look at your industry, look at the keywords that are surrounding your industry, do a search on that, and you may be able to pull in some customers that way.
Yeah, I think Small Gorilla was talking to us one time about going and finding out, researching what your competitors are doing and the complaints or whatever that they're getting, and then tweaking your service to service those complaints.
Exactly. It's a good research tool if you're thinking about expanding your line, and even services. It doesn't have to be products; it can be services.
Yes.
You can find out, well, what are people searching about concerning my industry and the services that are provided, and then you'll see people go, oh, I wish XYZ. Oh, why can't XYZ? Or why doesn't this company do XYZ? It's there. You just have to go and search it, and you can go to twitter.com. You don't have to have a Twitter account. It's good to have. You should have one, but you don't need it to search and find out information on what's going on with your competitors in your industry. And Karen says, yeah, research, and your business will grow. She's absolutely right.
Yep. And you have to set aside time to do that. Your day, and Karen will attest to this, and maybe she'll talk a little bit about it, but you have to structure some your day where you're doing certain things all the time, that you're doing your research, and everything is planned out, not just haphazard. Oh, today I think I'll do this. Oh, I'll do this. TJ has a plan for your social media planning. You need to have a plan for your research.
Yeah.
You need to have a plan for everything.
Exactly. You need to have a plan. And if you use my social media planner, because it's going to have space for you to plan out every day what you want to say, you may need to do some research before you even fill out the planner. So that's where you can go to Twitter. You can do it on Instagram too. Instagram has a great search feature for hashtags, which are keywords.
Yes.
So anything that's the words that your customer would use, or the words and things that are said about your industry, those are the things you search for on Twitter or Instagram. And you can do a little search on Facebook too. They've improved their search.
Yeah.
You can do a little bit there too.
I just think that it is very, very important for you to do the research, to plan the research in your day. I don't think you should go a day. This is all the stuff that needs to happen, perhaps, before you start talking.
Mm-hmm. And I know it's a lot. It's work. It's a lot of work. I mean, I've heard other people say, I believe someone said, if you're not posting and putting stuff up every day, then what do you need to be putting, I've heard that. I really don't agree with it, because I've done some posting where it's not every day. And also the people that say I hate this. The people that say the perfect time to post is 9 a.m. this, that. I've posted on Instagram at midnight and gotten a bunch of engagement. Midnight Eastern Standard Time. So I'm thinking, and I'm doing it as a test. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna post whenever I feel like it. Let me post at midnight.
And we're gonna go back and say this again. Please make sure you have something valuable to say before you post.
Yes. That's the key. I had something valuable to say. So it doesn't matter. I hate those posts. You see them online. The best time to post on social media. And they give you these times. And people feel like if they don't post in those times that they're not going to get an engagement, or they're doing it wrong. You're not doing it wrong. As long as you're giving a message that is targeted to reach your audience. You know what they want to talk about. You know what they want to hear. So you, like I said, I posted at midnight. I got a lot of engagement. I didn't wait until, well, oh, let me post this at 9 a.m. Eastern time. I said, nope. 12, it was a little after 12, boop, posted it, woke up, all of this engagement.
Yeah. And see, you strike when the inspiration hits you, because you're going to be inspired. Yes. Boy, that's a great thought. Write it down. I have a place where I write down all those thoughts, and so I can go back to them, create my little memes or create my little things, and then post them. But there are times when you need to get it out there immediately, because it is apropos. It is fit for the moment, and you need to put it out there. Then you do it. But you never go out and just start posting because somebody said you need to post every day. Well, I don't have something to say every day.
Don't do it, because I've seen, and I'm going to talk about this on another show. I call it regurgitation of what they're just doing what other people are doing robotically because somebody said it. But you have to test it for your crowd. Mm-hmm. Your crowd may not be on it 9 a.m. Eastern or 10 p.m. You know that because you will post different times. That's why I posted at. I said I'm not afraid. Why be afraid? It's midnight. Boom. I had something to say. I posted it. I didn't want to wait for the morning. I posted it because I want to see how the algorithm and how my analytics come out, because there are certain software that will tell you, okay, it looks at everything you post and says, this is the best time for you to post, but you have to post different times. If you post at the same time, the programs can't give you any help because you're posting at the same time every day, because somebody on the internet, some blog said, this is the perfect time to post, 9 a.m., 9 to 11 a.m. And then you can't post after that. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. You got a message, and it's the right message, and you have a targeted audience, and you know they're going to be receptive to it. Post it whenever you feel like. So try it.
And then what you had told me before is that Twitter will, like, I just got something, just in case you missed it, they brought it right back around.
There you go. Because Twitter, and a good thing to talk about, Twitter is starting to get into algorithms. So they're going to start penalizing people for
multiple.
Yes, just I call it senseless posting.
Yeah.
Like they'll just, because they got it set up to what these people, these so-called experts say, this is the time to post on Twitter, Tuesdays at 1 p.m. and no other time. So they set it out to go. But Twitter's going to start backlashing against that. And that's what they're doing. When you see a tweet saying what you missed, that's what they're going to start doing. If you engage with a person on Twitter, like you read their tweets, or you follow them, or you've had you've talked to them, Twitter knows that and will go, oh, you missed the tweet from so-and-so, here it is. Like Fran said, it will show you. So you don't have to worry about somebody missing your post. Don't worry about that. I get
Coach Karen
upsets me.
Coach Karen says, do things daily in your own way, on your own terms. It will feel more like you, and you will feel more in charge of your business.
Exactly.
And then Alfredo said, I did a 25-second video of what I did, was about to go online, and around 277 people saw it as an organic reach.
There you go. You have to post, like I said, he probably had the right message in the 25-second, but it can be 25 seconds. It doesn't have to be hours.
Nope.
If you're saying what you're saying and it takes 25 seconds and you send it out, the people that want to see that will see that and will engage with you. That's proof of it right there. So don't listen to these people that say, well, you have to post on Facebook, on your Facebook page, you have to post at 3 p.m. or what? No, your Facebook page has analytics for you. You go in and see, because you posted different things at different times. Post a link, post a photo, do a recorded video, do a live video, post them at different times. Facebook analytics will show you what kind of engagement you got on each of those things, and then you'll know. Oh, I can post photos on this day and I'll get a lot of engagement. Or on this day, I can do a live video and get a lot of engagement. That's what it is. It's not this set it and forget it automated crap. I hate that.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, because see, we know when it's been in the can, you know what I'm saying? We know canned soup does not taste like homemade. You cut up the chicken, you cut up the chicken and put in the ingredients yourself. It's different.
I make it myself. I do not mess with canned soup.
And we don't want you to mess with canned content. No canned content.
No. It's social media strategy, and I see it all the time. It says the perfect time to, and I ignore it. And I'm like, I'm thinking about all the people that are panicking because of Facebook, you know, the organic reach that they're made to change and other places, and they're panicking thinking, I have to do this, what they said perfectly, or the sky will fall, or it won't work. No, you have to figure that out between you and your audience, because you're growing your audience. You're giving them what they want.
And you're talking to them the way they want to be talked to.
Yes, you're giving them valuable content, valuable information, and then trust me, if they're following you, they'll find you. They'll look at your old stuff and like it and comment. There's no perfect time. The perfect time is between you and your audience.
Yes.
So
thank you.
This is always sticking in my head, and I'm just like, I hate that. Don't do it. Post when you're ready and you have the right message. And you know, oh, wow, my audience is going to really like this, because you know that. That's how it works. Alfredo, I'm glad you guys are here. Karen is here. Alfredo is here. Rachel was here. Rachel Leah.
Oh, good.
She has a show in, if you're in Live Talk Nation, she posts her show. Her topics are very interesting. So if you get a chance, she's in her comments. So she said, hi. So look her up. She has a show. I believe it comes on Wednesday. I'm not sure, but check her out. Rachel Leah. Okay.
And then Alfredo says that he's been doing concept for programming and to take time to post about developing software, and he realized that it's very niche.
Mm-hmm. And you want that.
Yeah, so he's talking about something that, you know, other people are not doing. And so he would become the expert that we go to talk to or listen to for programming.
Create a niche. Niche is where you want to be. And that's another topic that I had in my mind to talk about small is the new big. That's what I'm going to call it. So maybe we'll do that next week, since Alfredo brought it up.
Okay. So I'll set that up for small is the new big.
That's what I'm calling it. It was in my head, and I said, should I talk about this or the small? I said, okay. So we'll do small as the new big. Talking about niche marketing, however you want to pronounce it. I believe that's the way to go. People are afraid to do it, but we're going to talk about it. So, we're at the top of the hour. We're just going and going.
So thank you, everybody who's watching on the West Coast and the East Coast, and Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and everywhere. YouTube. Thank you. We want to say thank you so much, because you could have been tuning in somewhere else. Please, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the YouTube page for BizChix TV. We appreciate it. We are in the quest for getting our unique URL. And check out TJ, attentionnecessary.com, to keep you on point with all your social media and digital marketing. Coach Karen will be up tomorrow. We're going to be talking about sales all month and how to increase your sales, get you some more money in your pocket. Thank you, Alfredo, for tuning in.
Yes, thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Yep. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.